You ever been that close to the moon?
Only in my telescope.
Only your telescope.
And my dreams. It would be wonderful to be able to actually get that close.
Touch it one day?
Yeah.
Right on.
Who knows? I might live to be able to do that yet.
Fingers crossed. I want to live on the moon one day. Hey folks, Craig Levati here with the Houston Museum of Natural Science. I am sitting next to a living legend, an astronomy filmmaking legend, Terence Murtagh. He is going to be here tonight at the museum doing a lecture on his new film, Unseen Universe. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks.
Thank you for showing. Thank you
nice
for bringing,
to be here.
Thank you for bringing this film to us. I mean, you're a rock star around here. We use that word a lot, but you are.
Well, that's very kind of you. But one of the good reasons why it should be here is that people here at the museum helped make it.
That's true.
And also helped write it.
That's true.
Carolyn Sumner's, who looks after the planetarium and does all that, much more. She helped write the show. And then there was other people here, Adam, Barnes, and Tony, who are animators and designers. They helped the show.
Adam and Tony rock. I love bothering them during the day for things and trailers and things like that.
Yeah.
You also were the guy behind Tales of a Time Traveler, which is also playing here.
Yeah, Tales of a Time Traveler, that's a kind of a different story and was very good fun to make. And of course it featured a lot of scenes shot in the museum.
That's true.
That look really good on the big dome,
Yeah.
You know, particularly the dinosaur models and so on.
So Tales of a Time Traveler makes you feel very small and insignificant. At least when I watched it, I was like, wow, I'm a speck on a speck. It's a big movie. It's only 25 minutes long.
Yeah.
Unseen Universe, you said, is only 25 minutes long. It premieres here on Friday.
Yeah, it's quite fast-paced, fast-moving.
Okay.
It's like a snapshot into what's really happening, what's the buzz in astronomy today.
Okay. So it's very up to the minute, obviously, because you have footage of the
black hole.
Black hole.
Yes, it's absolutely right on spot. The black hole image, the first ever photographed made, was released on April 10th, which is just a month ago.
Yeah.
And we had been working with a number of the people involved with the project. So we were ready to run the show as soon as the announcement had been made to the public.
So it was up to the wire when you guys could finish this.
Yes.
You said he was saying it took 18 months to make the movie, and that was the one piece of the puzzle you were waiting to finish Unseen Universe.
Yeah, because we knew the photograph had been made, if you like, the data had been made 2 years ago, but it took a long time to bring it together and to work on it. And that took a very long time. Initially, in my initial plan, the show was to start with the first ever photograph of a black hole. But as time wore on, and it was obvious that the actual picture was going to take a much longer time to get put together, I decided to put it at the end of the show.
Oh, okay. So you tease us with it. You got to stay to the very end to get it.
Yeah, although it appears actually in the credit at the beginning, at the titles. But nevertheless, that was the whole thing, was to build up to this, because this show, Unseen Universe, really what it is, as I told you, it's like a snapshot. What most of us don't realize is that at the minute, astronomy is going through a revolution.
Right now, in 2019.
At this instant.
Okay.
A revolution that is as great as the one that Galileo started when he first pointed his telescope at the sky.
Is it because technology is just going at such a rapid rate, or are we...
No. Part of it has to do with technology. A part of it has to do with the fact that what astronomy really is a giant jigsaw puzzle of the universe. And little bits of the puzzle are found from time to time, but often there are bits missing. They're not sure which bit fits into which. But in the last just 3 years, that's all, in the last 3 years, it has been possible to get a number of these pieces to fit together.
Closer and closer.
Yes, and actually make a picture that helps us understand what really is going on. For example, in that period, we have had the beginning of what astronomers call multi-messenger astronomy. This is where you get information in all kinds of different wavelengths and packages, and you can put it together because everybody has looked at the same object at the same time, and it tells you a lot about what actually was going on.
So you have a community working on one idea.
Yes, hundreds, if not thousands of people with telescopes all over the world looking at something simultaneously and then being able to tell us, well, what actually that flash of light was. What was that strange vibration? And the other part was that in that period, not only have we had, if you like, let's call it light astronomy, but we've had, for the first time ever, been able to use gravitational waves to tell us what that flash of light was.
So you're having all these people using all this brain power at one time. 100 years ago, you didn't have that.
Well, no, it was people, like, until about 3 years ago, it was like individual observers or telescope sites and so on and so forth, all doing their best to understand the universe in different wavelengths. But it's only within the last few years that we have been able to put all of these things together. And remember, that image of the first ever black hole was put together by using data from a number of telescopes all around the world, working as one. In other words, a telescope the size of the Earth.
Exactly. That was the big draw, I think, for the photo when it came out. Was that it was? Is there any photos coming up like that we don't know about, that you can't talk about yet?
Well, there will be. I mean, the guys who released that image of the black hole in M87, that's a very distant galaxy, but it's very big, many, many times bigger than the one in the middle of our own galaxy. And they have been trying to image the one in our own galaxy as well, the one in the Milky Way.
So that's coming.
It's called Sagittarius A star. And I would think that they will be releasing an image of that maybe within the next 12 or 18 months.
For your next movie?
Well, it might be up there, yeah.
Are you working on anything right now?
I'm not, actually. I'm not.
Okay, so you're taking time off.
Yeah.
Okay. When I was doing some research on you on YouTube, I found an old TV show called Space Watch that you did in the 80s, in 1983 or so, about 18 episodes or so. And it was just amazing, and I could definitely tell how that show on the BBC would have gotten a lot of kids into astronomy.
It was a very popular show.
Yeah.
And until you mentioned it, I had forgotten about it.
It's always funny when you forget about something that I can find it.
But it was a lovely show to work on, and we used a lot of new technology. For example, this thing called the Paint Box, which allowed us to create very nice star maps and pictures of the universe that you couldn't do before, and presented in an interesting way. But also it was interesting from the point of view of the people I worked with to make that show. And the producer of that show is now a very famous person. She's called Anne Wood. She is the lady who invented the Teletubbies, which of course became a worldwide phenomenon.
She's a billionaire at this point, I'm assuming.
Well, I'm sure she's doing okay.
She's doing okay.
But she's a very nice woman, and she was very interested in getting youngsters to be interested in the world around them and in space and astronomy. Yeah.
Cool. And you've been in the business for 60 years, since you were 6 years old or so. You've been an astronomer?
I've been interested in astronomy since I was about 6. So that's actually 65 years long. And I'm still interested.
Yeah.
I still look at the sky, and I still go to places to film the aurora and do all that kind of thing. Yeah.
Well, very cool. We're excited for your lecture tonight. You're going to blow some minds up like you always do.
Well, I'm hoping that people will be interested. I'll give a talk about, if you like, how and why I made this particular show, and then I'll show it, and then they can ask questions.
There we go. And it opens on May 24th. That's Friday here at the Burke Baker Planetarium, and you're going to see some familiar faces in it too.
Yep.
There we go. Awesome. Thank you very much, Terence.
Thank you.
Enjoy your time in Houston. Guys, go see the show.